Previously, one man who had leprosy had been healed. Leprosy was a disease that would cause you to be alienated from your community. And it was known to be a disease that was incurable, a disease that didn't have an answer. Some of us have been in those situations where you have been diagnosed not only physically, but perhaps circumstantially with a situation that is incurable. No answer for it. I don't know about you, but I've had some of those moments in my life when there was no answer. But all that I had was the presence of God. So before this setting, one single man who had leprosy was healed. And Jesus said to him, now I want you to follow the tradition. You need to go to the priest and have him to affirm your cleansing. But I don't want you to tell anybody about who I am. Interesting. Don't take out a commercial. Don't put it on a billboard. Don't tell anybody who I am. But I'm telling you, you cannot prevent the news of the presence of God from spreading. And after his healing, we look at this verse, and this verse tells us that men and women began to gravitate to where Emmanuel was, to where Jesus was. Where he was present, people began to gather, to throng, to show up in multitudes to this extent. And now this leads us to a real familiar story that follows the verse that we just read. And I'm just going to paraphrase the illustration here. I want you to picture one house where Jesus has been invited to enter in. One single residence that tries to now contain his presence. You need to get this illustration in your mind. When Jesus shows up in this one house, people begin to come from all parts of the area, Judea, from Galilee, from Jerusalem, to come to this one house. Why? Because God is present. I'm telling you, when God is with us, it's going to be known. You're not going to be able to prevent that news from spreading. When God is present, you're going to be drawn to migrate, if you will, to navigate, to change your personal course of direction. Wherever you might have been headed, when you discover where God is present, it's going to alter your course of life to find him, to be where he is. And that's what happened with this one single home, one single residence. I mean, it was so packed out in that place that there was no room for anybody else. But there was this man who was paralyzed. He had the disease of what the Bible calls palsy, paralysis that would not allow him to use his limbs properly. He couldn't walk. He had no use of his abdomen and his lower body muscles. So much so that he was carried from place to place by 4 other men. He himself could not walk, but he found 4 walking men that would carry him from place to place. And they arrived at this same house where Emmanuel, God, was present.